Have you ever seen a vulture in your city? No? Well, let's change that. Imagine a bird with a wingspan as wide as an adult is tall, soaring high above the ground. This is the Indian vulture, or Gyp's indicus, as it's scientifically known. An old-world vulture native to Asia, it's a sight to behold. It's also known as the Indian long-billed vulture, a name given for its comparatively longer beak that gives it a unique look among its peers. This medium-sized, bulky scavenger is nature's cleanup crew, feeding mostly on the carcasses of dead animals. Interestingly, in this species, it's the males that are larger, with females being a bit smaller. But these birds are more than just their physical attributes. They play a crucial role in our ecosystem, a role that's often overlooked. Stay tuned to know more about these magnificent creatures and their habitat. Do you know where these Indian vultures are usually found? Step into the world of the Indian vulture, a remarkable creature that calls the vast landscapes of Asia its home. Its habitat is as diverse as it is expansive. The Indian vulture, or Gyp's indicus, as it's scientifically known, doesn't confine itself to remote, untouched wilderness. No, these birds are just as at home in the bustling environments of human settlements. Picture the wide, open savannas scattered with sparse vegetation, providing the perfect backdrop for these vultures to soar on thermal currents, scanning the ground below for their next meal. The savannas are teeming with life, and where there's life, death isn't far behind, offering a veritable feast for our scavenging friends. But it's not just the savannas where you'll find these birds. They're quite the versatile bunch. They've adapted to a range of habitats, including the outskirts of villages and cities. They're even found near cultivated areas, their keen eyes ever watchful for an opportunity to swoop down and clean up the remains of life's grand cycle. Now let's talk about their distribution. These birds are not just confined to India, as their name might suggest. Spreading their wings across borders, Indian vultures can be found in Pakistan and Nepal as well. Their presence is a testament to their adaptability, surviving and thriving in a variety of climates and landscapes. Despite this wide range, it's important to remember that the population of these vultures has dwindled drastically over the years. Once a common sight in these regions, their numbers have fallen dramatically, and they are now considered critically endangered. This is a grim reminder of the importance of conservation efforts, not just for the vultures, but for all wildlife. Just imagine, these vultures could be closer to you than you think. But without the necessary steps to protect and preserve their habitats, we may soon find that these magnificent creatures are no longer part of our world. But why don't we see these vultures around us often? This is a question that haunts many bird enthusiasts and environmentalists. The answer lies in the grave threats that the Indian vultures have been facing. The Indian vulture, a medium-sized scavenger feeding mostly on the carcasses of dead animals, has experienced a dramatic decline in its population. And the primary culprit? A veterinary drug used to alleviate joint pain in working animals. This drug, though beneficial to livestock, is toxic to the Indian vulture. In an unfortunate twist of fate, the very animals that the vultures depend on for sustenance have become the source of their demise. When a vulture feeds on the carcass of an animal that has been treated with this drug, the vulture ingests the poison. This leads to kidney failure and ultimately the death of the vulture. So how significant is the impact? The numbers are staggering. The Indian vulture population has plunged by a shocking 97 to 99% as a result of this poisoning. This drastic decline has happened in a relatively short span of time, making it one of the most rapid and severe population crashes observed in any bird species. The situation is further exacerbated by habitat loss. With the expansion of human settlements, the open habitats around villages, cities, and cultivated areas where the vultures usually thrive are shrinking. This double whammy of poisoning and habitat loss has pushed the Indian vulture to the brink of extinction. This tale of the Indian vulture is a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of life on Earth. A single change in one part of the ecosystem can have far-reaching consequences, affecting species far removed from the original source of the change. This is a tragic example of how our actions can inadvertently harm nature. We need to remember that every species, no matter how seemingly insignificant, plays a crucial role in the grand tapestry of life. And we must strive to ensure that our actions do not unravel this delicate balance. If you are wondering about the current status of Indian vultures, here's the sad truth. The Indian vulture, a once abundant sight in the skies of South Asia, is now teetering on the brink of extinction. The International Union for Conservation of Nature, or the IUCN, has declared the Indian vulture as critically endangered. This is the most severe level of threat, signaling that urgent action is needed to prevent these majestic scavengers from disappearing entirely. You see, the Indian vulture population has faced a staggering decline of between 97 to 99% in the last few decades. This dramatic decrease is primarily due to a veterinary drug administered to working animals, which, while beneficial to those animals, is highly toxic to vultures. When vultures feed on the carcasses of animals treated with this drug, it results in kidney failure and death. But why should we care about vultures? These birds, often misunderstood and maligned, play an essential role in our ecosystem by keeping it clean and disease-free. They are nature's cleanup crew, removing carcasses that would otherwise rot and spread diseases. So the decline of vultures has severe implications, not just for biodiversity, but also for human health. The good news is, it's not too late. Conservation efforts are underway to save the Indian vulture from extinction. These include banning the use of the harmful veterinary drug, establishing vulture safe zones, and breeding programs to increase their population. But these efforts need our support. Each one of us can play a part, whether it's by raising awareness, supporting conservation organizations, or simply respecting the vital role each creature, including the humble vulture, plays in our ecosystem. So, as we conclude our journey into understanding the plight of the Indian vulture, it's clear that their survival is not just about them. It's about the health of our planet and ultimately our survival. Let's commit to understanding and respecting our natural world better, for every creature plays a vital role in the ecosystem.